is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. That's right, Trump was right about everything, just like the hat says, and he's always right. And today was just a great day for our favorite president and the country. Because remember, if it's a good day for Trump, it's a good day for America and you and me, okay? And the world. And so many great things happened today. I told you guys last week when these Republicans in the committee were not letting the big, beautiful bill pass, I said and they had their list, I said all those rhino Republicans, Republicans against Trump, they're all butch while President Trump is in the Middle East. But when Daddy comes home, he'll get them under control. And sure enough, passed through the committee. So there's the big, beautiful bill. Welcome from the villages. Welcome, everyone. And how many press conferences did President Trump have today? These impromptu press conferences in the halls of Congress and then in the Oval Office with Hegseth on the... So like 4, right? 4. And so that's the first thing, right? He went to Congress, boom, got everything settled. So we got the big, beautiful bill with everything that Trump wants is in it. So then he's talking to these fake news reporters, and they're asking him all these talking points, all these liberal... No, I'm not tired of winning either, family. PS gameplay, heck no. They keep asking, they got all these talking points about the cuts in Medicaid. He says there's no cuts in Medicaid. They're cutting fraud and abuse. Fraud and abuse. He's like, there's no cuts to Medicaid. So he settles all of that, and then he announces the missile shield, the Iron Dome of America, with Pete Hegseth and others in the Oval Office today, and which is an absolutely amazing thing. And then they ask him again at the very end, what about cuts to Medicaid? He says, no cuts for Medicaid. Sorry, these talking points, MSNBC is the spreader of more misinformation than anything, anywhere. It's, these talking points are all lies. And President Trump's mandate and popularity in this second term is as strong and as high as it has ever been. It is spectacular. And everything he's doing is popular. And I liked how they were talking about, he's like, they're getting rid of fraud and abuse. And he talked about how much money they're saving Medicaid and Medicare through reducing the prescription drug medications through the executive order, which if it's not in this bill, will be in another bill upcoming. They don't even let that register. That's right, Big Daddy Trump. Daddy Trump, the great MAGA daddy. That's right. So, it was just a great day. And what did Trump propose today that's negative, that anyone could honestly be against? No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, cutting waste and fraud from Medicaid, and protecting America with a missile shield. Who could be against any of this stuff? Right? I'd love to hear an argument against any of that. But there isn't one. Who's against these things? The Trump agenda in the second term it's not even controversial in this country, right? It's not even controversial. It's something that in America is universally accepted as good. The missile shield, they've been talking about the missile shield since President Reagan. They just didn't have the technology back then. We have it now. And then the media, they're trying to create this, more fear of Russia, that Russia's putting a nuclear missile up in space, which is not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Welcome, everyone. If you're new to my channel, my name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Yeah, the prescription drug executive order that he signed, which they will get into the legislation and will be law. The Democrats have been promoting that for decades. Trump did it. And he did it. And things will continue to do this well for Trump because, He's got the majority of the American people behind him. He's the first American president, right? All these other presidents representing special interest and foreigners. You know? And I like how President Trump talked about today, something I was talking about last week. Our nation is united. We're not divided. And that is that he's the only president to bring money home, that all the other presidents would give billions of dollars away. I watched some of the Megyn Kelly interview with Jake Tapper, and she made him look like a jackass. I mean, you know, and he's not as psychotic as Comey, but he's pretty bad, Jake Tapper. And you know, this Biden stuttering crap that he was trying to peddle, and he was still trying to peddle that today. Total BS. And she really cleaned his clock. But I'll tell you, you know, the biggest thing about the Megyn Kelly interview with Jake Tapper is this. Jake Tapper is still one of the big cheeses over on CNN, if anybody over there can be considered big. And for him to go on a new media program like Megyn Kelly is unheard of. It gives legitimacy to those of us in the new media, that the new media, this is where you got to go if you want to reach people. Jake Tapper going outside the mainstream to Megyn Kelly's show, that was more devastating to the mainstream media than the interview questions themselves, which made him look like a jackass. That was a good. I watched about half of the interview, a little more than half of the interview, a little while ago with Candace Owens and Harvey Weinstein. It was interesting, you know, Harvey Weinstein. And I can't get myself into these P. Diddy, Harvey Weinstein issues. But she did a pretty good interview. Candace Owens found a Jewish guy she likes. He just happens to be someone who got convicted of all kinds of sex charges. Yeah, well, you know. Oh, no. This is, without a doubt, the golden age of America. Holly says, your nation argues over race, religion, right versus left. You're divided. No, we're diverse. The United States is the most diverse country in the world. So we're not fighting over anything. I don't know what you're seeing, but we're a diverse country. And there's only one race, by the way, the human race. Inside the human race, there are different ethnicities, but there are not different races of humans. Different races, that'd be like different species. You know, there's different ethnicities inside the human race. A little bigotry there. Oh, Jake looked like a jackass. I'm very surprised that CNN let him go on new media like that. Right? I really am. Nope, no cuts to Medicaid. He said it several times today, President Trump. They're stopping fraud and abuse. The UK is not more diverse than the United States. Is that you're out of your mind? Nope. Tiny little country. What's the population of the UK? It's like the population of Florida or California. Yeah, no cuts to Medicaid. It's just it's a liberal lie talking point. That's all. No truth to it whatsoever. Diverse is not a woke term. No, diversity is that word has been around long before. Well, woke came and went. It was a fad, like parachute pants and breakdancing. I don't know. It looks pretty Muslim to me in the UK. Not a lot of diversity there. No, it's not diverse. Not like here. Not like here. UK's fallen anyway. Yeah, it is 91 degrees here in sunny South Florida, so it's pretty hot today, and it's going to get up way into the 90s this week. We have great allies: El Salvador, Poland, Italy. We have great allies. Hungary. These are wonderful allies. Real allies, true allies. Yeah, you know, I don't think I'm the only American who feels this way. But with Trump in the White House, I don't worry about anything involving the safety of our country or even these political battles. I know everything's going to work out fine because Trump's in charge. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the 120 to 369-year-olds are being cut off. That's right. El Salvador is a great ally of the United States. So is Italy, Poland, Hungary. That's right. We've got some great allies. El Salvador is the first country ever that I know of to do something for the United States, not out of selfish reasons. Yeah, Canadians for Trump. Yeah, Canada wants in on our Iron Dome. Trump's going to make sure they pay for it. You know, no more free rides from Canada. NATO countries, all they do is suck off the United States, just rip us off. No, the EU, Europe's a terrible ally. A terrible ally. What has Europe done for the United States, right? What have they done since we've been allied with them? Source, just living my life and seeing what's going on. No, Canada is basically a client state of the United States. Europe did nothing on 9/11, unless you think they were behind it. I don't know what you're talking about. Nothing. Europe does nothing for the United States. Now, the colonists from Europe colonized the New World, and that was great, but that was like, 500 years ago. I'm talking about, World War II up till now. And they've done absolutely nothing. No, just rip us off, get us into wars, give us false intelligence, false dossiers about President Trump, false intelligence about WMDs in Iraq. Remember that was British intelligence? The whole Iraq war was based on lying British intelligence. I mistakenly, it's 91 degrees, and I turned on, by mistake, I turned on the seat heater and the steering wheel heater. I'm like, the steering wheel's getting really hot. What's going on here in my seat? No, what has Europe done for the United States? World War II up till now. Nothing. Nothing good. Oh, Elon, that was a great interview that Elon Musk did today about South Africa. Any of you guys see that? It was spectacular. He cleaned the clock of this liberal lunatic that was interviewing him. He was talking about how the Starlink internet's very good. On our MAGA cruises, on Celebrity Cruise Line uses Starlink. And you guys, remember those live streams I was doing from the MAGA cruise? On the previous cruises, I couldn't do live streams because they had internet, but I couldn't get a good enough connection. And I used Starlink. Those were great live streams. And by the way, I did those live streams when the ship was full and everyone's pulling off the internet. Starlink's amazing. And Elon Musk was talking that they have these racist laws in South Africa. And because he's white, he can't get a license to operate Starlink in South Africa. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Another hostage just came home. Awesome. The Brits did not save us in Normandy. They did not save us. We were there saving their tails. I'm not a fan of the Beatles, guys. I've never liked the Beatles. Sorry. It's 5:38 p.m. here on the East Coast in Florida. The Eastern time zone here in Florida, I've renamed it. I called it Mar-a-Lago time, since Mar-a-Lago's right up the street. But no, Europe has done nothing for us in a long time. A long time. My favorite artist? You mean like a painter? The guy that painted my house. That's my favorite artist. It is one of the safest countries. Now, I'm not a big fan of the Beatles. It's weird. There's a couple songs of theirs I like, but I do, this will sound crazy. I do like Wings, though. Anybody remember Wings? Paul McCartney's band after the Beatles. I like Wings. Wings has some good songs, but I'm not a Beatles fan. Just not into it. Just not into the Beatles. Never was into the Beatles. It's a generational thing, I think. I like Julian Lennon better than the Beatles, I must tell you. Bob Ross, I like Bob Ross. Yeah, I like Wings. They got that song. What are some of the great Wings songs? They did the one from the James Bond movie, Living Like That. They had some good songs, Wings. No, I like Wings. Better than the Beatles. What's the problem with Europe? Europe is just a sad, pathetic place. Europe used to be great. Senate unanimously approves the bill to eliminate the tax on tips. Senate just approved it. No more tax on tips. Unanimous. I just got a notice here from the Hill. That means the Democrats. See how Trump's bringing the parties together? He's supporting these things that are so universally good that the Democrats can't oppose them. That's amazing. Favorite fast food. Now, you may not consider this fast food, but I'm going to, for this, Chipotle. I love Chipotle. Oh, Trump's done a lot. The no tax on tips, that is just so amazing. What a pay raise for people. And once that goes through, tips are going to go up like crazy. That's such a raise for everyone in the tip economy. Linda McCarthy did backup, but there used to be a recording of an engineer that worked on Wings tour, and they had a track of Linda McCarthy, vocals only. Oh my gosh, it was pretty bad. No, Wings did not turn into Journey. No way. Wings was Paul McCartney's band. Oh, yeah. I mean, the tax on tips is life-changing money for tip workers. It really, truly is. That no tax, and it also helps their employers, because the workers have to pay. Like if it's a restaurant, the workers, the waiters and waitresses, they have to pay part of the tips, but so do the restaurant owner or the bar owner. They have to pay taxes on those tips to the government too. So it's not just a great benefit for those who receive the tips, it's a great benefit for the restaurants. It's amazing. Well, the Senate just unanimously passed it. I just got a notification. They are reporting their tips because the tip, everybody I mean, how many of you do not pay with cash? I pay for everything pretty much with Apple Pay and or debit card or something. So the tips are all done electronically. They can't not report them. They have to report them. In the old days, they didn't, when everything was cash. But we've gotten cashless, and that means they got to pay taxes on their tips. The only place that I see that really promotes tips and cash is Starbucks, and there's never money in the till because nobody has cash. You pay tips with cash. I don't carry cash. I don't have $1 in my wallet right now. The only time I carry cash is if I'm traveling or something, but no, I don't carry cash. Roller rinks. Where the hell's what are you calling? Are you watching this stream from 1982? Where's a roller rink? Yeah, Steve Perry. Steve Perry's got the best voice in the history of rock and roll. Cash is best, but people don't carry cash anymore. Very few people carry cash. Very small percentage. People do not carry cash, and they don't tip in cash. It's best to tip in cash, but now you don't have to worry about it. Now you don't have to worry about it. because they're not going to have to pay taxes on it soon. That's awesome. We're already a cashless society. Pretty much. I mean, sometimes you'll go into, like I was mentioning Chipotle earlier, about 6 months or a year ago, I go into Chipotle and I paid in cash, and the girl didn't even really know how to make change. Do I support Trump? Hell yeah. I'm MAGA for life, man. MAGA for life. I am the most pro Donald Trump person you will find anywhere. If you're new to my channel, this is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure that you subscribe. Why what? Trump for life, MAGA for life. That's right, the great MAGA king. Are you kidding? Oh, we're so lucky to be living through the second term of Trump. I mean, this is just, it's just a beautiful time to be an American, to live through this. It's so much better than the first term. First term was good. This is off the measure. I mean, this is just off the scale. Great, the second term of Trump. Yeah, I was watching Melania today with the kids. She loves kids. She would have been a great kindergarten teacher. If Melania was a kindergarten teacher, every dad would have gone to parents' night. You think Trump's going to get rid of Pam Bondi? Well, you know, let me ask you guys this, okay? Let me set, because I've been talking a lot this week about Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, and I'm going to ask you a question about them in a minute, in particular Bongino. Today, President Trump announced the Golden Dome. Pete Hegseth was in there. Pete Hegseth got that whole thing going, right? He had the whole thing organized. He met with every, got it all done. I mean, that's a big, he's done other things too, right? You know, Pete Hegseth, they're discharging all the transgendered military personnel. He fired these woke generals. He renamed those bases that they changed the names of, the military bases. He's done a lot. He's got a report coming out any day on Biden's botched Afghan withdrawal that got Americans killed and gave all the weapons to the Taliban, the people that knocked down the building. I mean, he's done a lot, right? Kristi Noem and Tom Homan have deported over 100,000. Tom Homan's kicking down doors like a street cop, and Kristi Noem's going with him. So Bobby Kennedy's done all these things. So, and I'm not alone in this, because Laura Loomer's all over this. Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and Bongino, what the hell have they done? They've done jack shit, is what they've done. And it pains me to say that. And I want to ask you this, because I was thinking about this today about Bongino. And I'm starting to think Bongino is a poser. What I mean by that is, you know, I'd mentioned the last couple days that I was very excited about Kash Patel, as was the rest of MAGA world, right? Very excited. And then when they named Dan Bongino to be the deputy director, I was so excited about that, as were the rest of MAGA people. And what all of us thought, all MAGA people, what we all thought was that Dan Bongino was going to be like Tom Homan. You watch Tom Homan, he's out on the scene. He's no matter where he is, he's got his ICE agents and Border Patrol agents, but he's also got local law enforcement, and he's take command and gives them all orders. Cuff him right now. Bust through the door. He goes into the door. He's knocking down doors. And that's how we thought Bongino was going to be, right? Did you guys think that Bongino was going to be like Tom Homan, that Kash Patel was going to be running the FBI in Washington, and Bongino was going to... I thought, this is what I really thought. I thought it was going to be just like Tom Homan. I thought Bongino was going to have his own team of agents that he was leading. He was going to go around and kick in doors and start arresting people. And this interview, I'm going to use a crude word that you may not have heard me use before. Probably have not. This is not a word that I'm going to clean up the word, okay? I'm not going to use the real offensive, nasty word. But that interview with Bartiromo, he looked like a wussy. And wussy is spelled with a P, not a W. Right? Do you guys know what I mean? And and I know he was with the NYPD for a few years. I know he was with the Secret Service, but I never dreamed he would be sitting there in a office reading reports all day. That clip I played this morning just pisses me off, where he says, "Oh, Crooks, who's the Butler, Pennsylvania assassin, right? We know that he had Ukrainian phone numbers on one of his cell phones. He was communicating to somebody in Ukraine. The other guy from the golf course assassin had all kinds of Ukraine connections. One of the Butler shooter's phones was communicating with somebody from the FBI building in D.C. Remember all this stuff? And Bongino says, I read the report. There's nothing there. Lone gunman. Total BS. I'm starting to wonder if Bongino's fake. Now, he could change my mind and go arrest some people and put cuffs on him, but I'm wondering if he's a poser. And what I mean by this is I know his background. He was with the NYPD for a couple of years. He was with the Secret Service a couple of years. And I only know of one case he was involved in criminally with the Secret Service, which involved some car rental scam that they made a couple arrests from. But I'm wondering if he's just a poser who's been on TV and his podcast and everything, he wears the tight shirts, he talks really deeply, he's all pumped up with muscles and all that stuff, and now he's got the job and he doesn't know how to do it. Is he not really a cop? Has it been an act with Bongino? I don't know yet. I've not decided that yet, but I'm starting to think that something's wrong with him. No, Kristi Noem was, she's the director of Homeland Security. She's not a cop, I mean, I'll give you an example. If I got offered a job by President Trump doing deputy director of the FBI, I would say, no, I don't know how to do that. I don't know anything about law enforcement. I don't know anything about that. And I'm just, so let me know yes or no. And I don't have my opinion fully made up by this, okay? If they go out and make some arrest, but I never thought we'd see him in an office in a suit all day reading reports put together by Chris Wray and reading those and telling us those are the gospel. So do you think Bongino is just all talk and fake and a poser and not the real tough cop federal agent that he's been presenting himself as? Yes or no? What do you think? I'm really starting to think that. I'm really starting to think that about him. And I don't want to. But I tell you, if he doesn't start arresting, I was so, the thing he said about the Epstein, he said, I read the report. You don't read the report. That report's from the Chris Wray FBI. You do your own investigation. Look into the background of those guards that were there, and look into the finances of their entire family and themselves, and extended family and friends, and find out if anybody came into large sums of money, or new cars or houses since then. You understand what I mean? When he said that there was no conspiracy to the Butler assassin, that's total bullshit. He said, I read the report. Yeah, Chris Wray's report. JP is poser. Yeah, I'm really starting to think poser. Yeah. I never, I made no mistake about it that I thought that the syndicator for Bongino should have replaced him with me instead of that guy they got. That's a job I could do. I could host that national, although I'm nationally syndicated now with all you great people that watch me, But by the way, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. My name's Brian. But I could do that. I could go and host a national radio show like that in every market in the country with no problem. And I would do a screenless calls like I do now. And but I can do that. Okay? But there are things that I don't have a lot of experience doing, right? So I'm not going to take a job that I can't do. So I think he's been, based on what we've seen, now he can prove us wrong, he seems like a poser to me. And I agree with a lot of people. He looks scared, but can't you be scared being overwhelmed by the job that you're not qualified for? Is it possible that he does not know how to do the job? He could prove us wrong. He could prove us wrong. But Bongino's looking like a big wussy. And again, wussy is spelled with the letter P. I just don't want to say that word. You know. It's possible, Bo's mom. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why would I do something like somebody else? I can do my own thing. He's a yes man now, unfortunately. Well, you know. I don't know what you guys are talking about a bribe jet. I missed that story. Who's been bribed with a jet? Don't be impatient. Look at everything Pete Hegseth has done as defense secretary. He is kicking ass, right? The missile dome, this Iron Dome, he put that together, discharged all these transgendered people, renamed all those bases. He's doing a lot of big things. He's bringing the fitness standards back. He fired these big-time woke generals, including the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. He's done a lot of badass stuff. Kristi Noem, Tom Homan done a lot of badass stuff. RFK Jr., you know, look at all the badass stuff he's been doing with the food dyes and the fluoride and the executive order that the president signed on the prescription prices. The transportation secretary is putting in an entirely new air traffic control computer system nationwide in the United States. And Kash Patel and Bongino and Pam Bondi, what have they done? Right? Yeah. You know, so I don't like criticizing them, but you know, I don't think it's impatience. There should have been people arrested by now. Yep. I have no problem with Mexicans. I've been to Mexico many times. I love Mexico and Mexicans. Oh no, there's thousands of transgendered people in the military getting rid of. Oh, Matt Gaetz would have been kicking ass and taking names. Yeah, like 14, 15,000. Yeah, so, but like I said, they can change everything by doing some high-profile arrest. If Bongino and Kash Patel, you know, because Kash Patel said give him 1 or 2 weeks, so we give him 2 weeks. If they come out and do some big arrest, perhaps. What question am I afraid to answer, Frosty Judge 99? Re-ask your question. I didn't see your question. You're afraid to answer. Frosty Judge 99 has a question. He says, I'm afraid to answer. So ask your question. Just because I don't answer, I didn't see it before, doesn't mean I'm afraid of it, but let me see. I'm waiting for Frosty. He has a question. He says, I'm afraid to answer. I don't see the question, Frosty. We're all waiting. Yeah, I guess so. He melted. Why did Trump shrink the size of national parks considerably? I don't know that that's true. I've heard some liberals say that. I don't know if that's true or not. I know liberals are saying that. Bill Clinton seized a bunch of federal lands and put them into the national parks. Too much. But I don't know. I'm at the edge of a national park here in Florida. The Florida Everglades, which is the entire center of the state of Florida, is a national park, and they have not turned it back over to us. So no, the national parks are still there. That's not a question I'm afraid of. That's just a question based on nonsense. Florida's the best state in America. Best state. There's no state better. I thought Frosty was going to have something really challenging, you know. I'm right at the edge of a state park. The whole center of Florida is a state park. The economy is not tanked. The economy is booming. President Trump just made a deal in the Middle East, these different deals totaling $3 trillion of business for the United States. No, the Everglades have not been killed. They're still there. Florida's the only one that likes... Hardly anybody here is from Florida. Everybody's from somewhere else like me, pretty much. $3 trillion's nothing. Well, you must be really wealthy. You know, Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, and he's not even a trillionaire. But $3 trillion's nothing. Oh, my God. Now $3 trillion is... We're talking about U.S. dollars, okay, not pesos. $3 trillion USD, U.S. dollar. Anybody that says USD like that is not an American. $3 trillion U.S. dollars is a lot of money. Why is Florida housing becoming more impossible to insure? It's not. I have a house. It's fully insured. You got to pay for it, and it sucks, you know. But I don't like paying for it, but I got to pay. It's like I got auto insurance on this car I'm sitting in, you know. It's not hard to get, but it's not cheap. Yeah, trillion. $3 trillion is not a lot of money, they said. Yeah, right. I wish it was. I wish I had three. If it's not a lot of money, give it to me. Florida's the trashiest state? I don't think so. You've been to Southern California? Please, this is the best state. The great state. President Trump lives here. Got beautiful weather. Beaches. We have the best beaches in America. The best weather. You know, the Florida Keys, Disney World, Universal Studios. This is the best. The best state. That's why so many people move here. More people move to Florida than any other state. And in the next census or two, we're going to become the most populated state. Now, we don't get that many hurricanes, actually. They get more hurricanes in you know, the Gulf of America states like Louisiana and the Carolinas. It's an urban legend. We don't get many hurricanes. And hurricanes aren't that big of a deal for the most part. They're really not. Underwater? No, I don't think so. Savage might move to Florida. The Gulf of America, that's right. That's right, the Gulf of America. Now make sure that you subscribe to my channel, guys. My name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.